Hello traders and welcome to today's market update. My name is Nick, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the currency market, looking for potential trade setups and ideas, and just check the general levels of what's going on when it comes to the currency market. Let's go ahead and jump right into this, and let's start with EURUSD. Now you can take a look here at EURUSD, and let's draw in a level of support that we've been talking about on the last couple market updates. We'll zoom in here, and what you can see is that this zone that we've talked about, right? This level of support here and support here, as well as potential support here, is still consolidating, right? So price has not made a clear decision whether it wants to break this level or if it wants to reverse on this level. And that's why we're seeing this indecision. We're seeing this back and forth market, right? We came down into the level, we bounced off the level, we went through the level, and then we came just back around, right? So for the time being, we don't really have any sort of clear confirmation about which price or which level price is going to be heading, right? Is it going to be heading up? Is it going to be heading down? For the time being, we are not very decisive at this particular level, but it is something to watch going forward to see if the market will make a decision. If we start to rally up, there might be some opportunities to look to get involved on maybe a pullback. Same on the downside, this level could become a major level of resistance if price does decide to break. So for the time being, sitting on my hands and looking at some opportunities here to see what could potentially happen next on EURUSD. Let's go ahead and also draw in a trend line here on this 4-hour chart. You can see that this level here is one that we've been watching. If price can come up to that area, there might also be some sell side opportunities at a pullback zone there, especially if you can line it up with a Fibonacci retracement or some sort of resistance zone. Let's take a look at GBPUSD this morning, and what we'll take a look at is, you can see on the daily chart, we are still in the context of a long-term downtrend. However, we may have some more bullish room to run here. You can see we have seen a nice little kind of a nice little break of this trend line here, right? We talked about this trend line on a couple market updates ago. We talked about the fact that price was breaking out of this structure and that we could see some continuation. Sure enough, we did see some nice continuation, and now price is pulling back to an interesting zone of potential support. You can see this area that we are currently trading at might hold as some sort of support zone, right? Because this previous level of resistance, price is pulling back to that 50% level and coming into confluence with this particular zone, right? As well as the 50% level. So there's multiple factors here where price is trying to decide if we can get some sort of balance. I think we could see some sort of balance, and if we do, we may be headed back to test recent structure highs. Something to look out for going forward on GBPUSD. We may be trading up towards that trend line that we just got done talking about. USDJPY is going to be our next one, guys, and we're taking a look here at the 4-hour chart. If we back up, you can see the trend here on USDJPY has been pretty bearish, right? But we are currently also seeing on this pair some nice bullish action. Now, if we draw in this trend line, you can see price did fake out to the downside one time here, but overall we've held this trend line pretty nicely, and for the time being still reacting bullishly off of this level. I think there's a pretty good chance that if USDJPY wants to continue to climb, that it will head back to 108.48. That seems like a pretty hot level, at least historically, right? So that's our previous high of this swing to the upside. And so going forward, if we can continue to uptrend, there's a pretty good chance we're going to run into that zone. And from there might be some breakout trades if we are trading breakouts, right? Brent Crude is going to be our next one, which has found its way all the way down to just shy of closing the gap. But you can see we did wick through that zone and actually completed this zone or filled the gap. You can see if we draw another level here, this is where our gap that we saw a couple weeks ago, right? We saw this major gap to the upside, and price has faded all the way back down to fill that level, right? So going forward, the question will be, can this zone hold as a support level? Now that we've held the gap there, a lot of times what will happen in a market like this is price will hold a gap after it's closed it, right? So it won't let it go any further lower than that, and we find some sort of rally. That's something to look out for here on Brent Crude here. You can see if price does get some sort of bullish reaction, I think we could see a continuation off of this structure, maybe even to test some recent structure that we've been watching, like this level here. Just something to consider on Brent Crude. WTI Crude is going to look pretty similar, guys. You can see that we did get a pullback and we did close all the gap. We closed the entire gap that formed here on WTI Crude. Price pulled back and now may hold as a support level in this area. Something to watch for, something to look for going forward is some sort of bounce play, some sort of opportunity to see price react to this level a little bit more. You can see we already kind of did. We did wick down to that point and found buying support. But from here, the question will be, can we get some more continuation off of that level? Gold is going to be our next one. This is XAUUSD, and take a look at this one, 4-hour chart. We are holding this neckline very, very sharply. You can see that over here we kind of have a head and shoulders pattern forming, right? We have a left shoulder here, we have a head here, and a right shoulder here. And so now this makes this area our kind of neckline, right? A level of support that if this breaks, it might be a confirmation or a continuation of this head and shoulders pattern. And if we get some sort of retest, there might be some selling opportunity in gold, especially as this market starts to look more and more bearish currently. If we go to the daily chart, one more thing I wanted to point out about gold, you can see if we point out that trend line that we've been talking about here on market updates for many weeks now, you can see this zone has been broken, right? This trend line structure has been broken. And so this could be a very bearish sign for XAUUSD going forward. Something to consider in your own trading is to look to see if we can get some continuation off of this downtrend. If you're a bull on gold, this might be a sign to look to kind of exit your trades. And if you're a bear on gold, this might be an opportunity to potentially look for opportunities if they present themselves and meet your own trading criteria. So let's take a look at GBPJPY. If we take a look on the daily chart, still a downtrend here, but we are seeing a pullback on a strong move to the upside. And so one thing to consider here is that we do have some interesting zones right around this 61.8% retracement. So if price can make its way back here, or even on the 50%, we have a pretty decent opportunity as well. You can see price kind of broke above this structure and held it as a supportive level. So going back, the 50% level might be an opportunity to look for on a retracement if you are trading kind of pullbacks. GBP Swiss is finding some bullish momentum here. Let's look at the 4-hour chart, and we'll draw in this trend line. You can see we are breaking to the upside currently, right? Price, there's our trend line. We've broken and closed above this trend line, which is significant and might show signs of continuation to the upside. Something to look for there. If we draw a Fibonacci retracement, there might be some opportunities on the sell side if we can wait for some sort of significant level, which to me, the 50% looks pretty good, especially around this consolidation and this area right here. So that area as a potential level of resistance might be something to look into. Guys, thanks so much for joining me today on this market update, and we will catch you next time.